I feel we're born in a way that we just are our core self. We're aligned with ourselves, we're aligned with other people, with nature. It comes very natural, as before our thinking brain comes in, before any of that. But because in life we survive, and we survive through connection, we start adapting to the people around us, to our surroundings. And in doing that, often lose track of our core self, that natural being that's within us. And so for me, the core self is discovered when we start going to the layers of the conditioning that we've had, often out of love, out of really good intentions, but that kind of took us away from who we really are. And it's going back through like, okay, who am I if I don't need to adapt anymore to the surrounding? Who am I beyond the fears, beyond the shoulds? For me in my life, it shows up a lot of like, oh, I should be more like this, or I should do this. And it's by like uncovering that we end up with the core self. And I feel the core self itself is difficult to put in words, but it's more a state of being. You feel it when you're aligned with who you are in essence.
Yeah, I think that's the tricky part. The tricky part is that it's such a beautiful thing inside of us, but then that's why a lot of people who deep dived into personal development kind of see it as an onion that like unravels. But it takes work to unravel that. It takes work, and what is really the work is observing those layers. Because actually, it's really simple. If irritation pops up, then I need to observe that within myself, that irritation. Like, where is that coming from? Where is that irritation? Like, why do I have that irritation? Hup. One layer opens. Okay, so I discover there's something the other person is too enthusiastic and it's off-putting. Like, why is that for me? And slowly but surely, by daring to ask those whys and by daring to observe, we slowly get closer. But the deeper we go, the tougher it gets, because then there's this resistance that takes place, because we've started to identify with all of these layers and start getting attached to it. And the whole process is this process of letting go and accepting that sometimes there's parts to ourselves that are not as pretty, and that first we need to accept them, see them, observe them, then find like tools. How can I like unravel the next layer? But slowly but surely trust that inside of all of these layers is this beautiful, beautiful core self. And when that comes alive, I think it's just so beautiful to see in other people, or to just witness within myself. And it's so simple, pure, and it puts light in people's eyes.
I think it's a beautiful way that you're set with the layers. I feel those are the things we wrap around us throughout our lifetime. And I feel, for me at least, I experience two selves when I'm thinking about this. And it's the self, the core self, feels more like my spirit. It's that part of us that we're born with. And I imagine that also to be like every single person has this body painted like core. So we all have these wonderful colors, all different shapes. So we're all unique within our core being. But then these layers are on top of it. And a first initial step in it all is learning to accept us with all the layers. That's the first state of acceptance. Like, that's also a self that I have. It's some call it the ego, all the layers around. And I realized, like, yes, also that in this, like in the way that I'm experiencing life right now, that's part of me. So I don't want to fight that, I want to accept that. But the beauty is, the more that you dig through those layers and can let go of them, the more the colors start to pop out and shine. And it's not something other people only notice, it's something that you can feel as it happens. Like, I've become more creative as it started happening, like I started expressing more. And yeah, so there is definitely a process, but both are beautiful. It's not because we're not only pure that core anymore that the rest isn't valuable. We need it.
There's so many beautiful practices that can help us help us in unraveling. And at first I thought it was going to be very complicated. I thought it was like, oh, these layers have been there, and like it seemed chaotic in my mind because I didn't even know where to start. That's why start with the simple things. Start with just simply sitting down and just right now, like observe, like, hey, like what's going on right now? Am I feeling like positive, negative, like neutral? And if it's positive, like what does that positive mean? Is it like joyful? Am I enthusiastic about something, excited for something? Like, and just try to tap into that and start to just let that flow.